Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today's guest is Elena Cardone on the line, and she's co-founder and the foundation director over at the Grant Cardone Foundation. Elena, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, Adam. I'm excited to be here today.
All right, Elena. So I did an interview recently with Phil over at the Grant Cardone Foundation, and he had me all fired up for this pitch competition. I absolutely fell in love with the concept and the idea, and I was like, oh, I've been in Phil's ear about this, and I'm like, we want to support, we want to make sure that everybody knows about this pitch competition because I think it's special, and I think that the more people that know are the more that are going to be not able to just support, of course, the foundation, but also, I mean, just to get involved in this concept. Like, I want to shake the brains of other entrepreneurs out there and let them think about how they can give back as well. So maybe just to get us kicked off a little bit here, Elena, maybe just start by telling us a little bit about the foundation overall for those that aren't aware of it yet.
Yeah, so the Grant Cardone Foundation was originally thought up by my husband, Grant Cardone, who, when he was 10 years old, his father passed away. He died of a heart attack. And so he was raised by a single mother. And it was difficult for him because he kept waiting for his uncles to step in and kind of show him the way and teach him the ropes, and they never did. So at that point, he vowed that if he were ever to become successful in life, that he would be the uncle, so to speak, to others that weren't there for him. So now people call him Uncle G in the circles that we run in. But really, this program is really to help underserved children in our communities that don't have access to the right tools, knowledge. Maybe they don't have the right role models to guide them to really understand how to create wealth, how to sustain your own and create your own future in spite of the cards that may have been dealt to you early on. So that's why we founded the Grant Cardone Foundation, so that we can give these children the skills and the know-how to really succeed and make a difference and an impact in their lives.
Yeah, and one of the things that I like and that I found that was just so impressive about the foundation, and I just think it's amazing, is that you're teaching kids the skills through things like education. So, for example, like just bringing from the website as of July, I see over 16,000 10X Kids books donated globally, 10X Kids University user accounts, over 350,000 South Africans reached, over 1,700 students brought to the 10X headquarters for a mentor workshop. I mean, the numbers are outstanding. And to me, what I see is like the potential for that ripple effect. Like, you're teaching people, you're giving them a basis that's going to potentially change their lives, many of these kids. Can you talk a little bit about just the strategy behind why you lead with education and what that means?
Well, knowledge is power, right? And so when you're armed with tools and skills in life, nobody can take that away from you. So really, that's what we're offering to these children that they wouldn't have gotten other places. What's the strategy? Now I'm in talks with several of the shelters, like emergency stabilization shelters, where kids go for 90 days in the interim before they're placed with their foster families. So I'm really trying to get this into shelters and places where they can have lifetime access. So as soon as they come into the system and these other nonprofits that are willing to work with us and be given this information, we're not only giving it to the children, but to the staff members there that are responsible for the training and whatnot. So they will understand as well, so that these kids can have a chance to really have an understanding of the kids that are unfortunately having to go through the foster system. Their parents, for whatever reason, aren't equipped enough to even have them in the home, so much less teach them life skills. So I'm also working with, delicate topic, but a lot of the sex trafficked kids, mostly young girls, but boys as well. And there's safe houses that they go to from when they are rescued, a lot of times they've never even been taught to read and write. So there's programs out there in secret locations and other organizations that we're working with, so that they stay at these kind of safe homes for 18 months and go through an entire educational system and program. So we're going to be getting into that system as well, so that when they actually recover and get treated, that then when they are now going out into life, they are not just skillless, but they actually have the opportunity to not only succeed in the workplace, but actually thrive. And our intentions is to help them soar above any competition from the skills and the knowledge that they will have gained through having the content that Grant's put out for everyone.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. And some of my listeners have heard this before in some of my background, but I mean, I'm from the southwest side of Detroit, and when I was growing up there in the 80s, early 90s, it wasn't, let's just say, the best place to be. And there were individuals that came into my life that I was lucky to have, that were mentors and otherwise, that were able to teach me about business and allow me to build a life and a future. And not all my friends and not all the people I grew up with had that same opportunity, right? So not everybody was in a good place. And my mother, she was, a social worker for, 50 plus years before she retired. And she worked with the most at-risk youth there were. It wasn't uncommon. She was a second employee at Covenant House, Michigan. So literally employee number 2. And that's a pretty big organization. And there wasn't a year that went by where, unfortunately, she didn't, I say lost children and lost, literally lost due to violence and gang violence and you name it, unfortunately. And so I grew up in that atmosphere, and I seen what it can do on the negative side and the worst of the worst side, through losing family members and friends and things every single summer. It was like a cycle. It was absolutely horrible. But then I've also seen what the other side of it can do. When you see, in this case, obviously, Grant Cardone Foundation wasn't around back then when I was growing up there in that particular area, but we had some other organizations that helped in the way that they could and did. And now I think about what Grant Cardone Foundation is doing on a global level. And by using Grant's teachings and knowledge and books and all of the things that this entire ecosystem that's been created, I get excited, because I know that even just conversations that I had as a kid made a difference. Just a conversation. If I'm thinking about, if I had access to a platform and books and other things like that in a community, I'm like, these are the type of big ideas I feel that change the world and that move us forward as a whole. So that's why I'm such a big fan of this.
Oh, yeah.
Truly.
That's so exciting. Yes.
Give me I want to, maybe let's jump around just a little bit here. And now I do want to spend some time here. I know I only got you for so long. We're not keep you on here for a couple hours, but I want to spend some time on the pitch competitions and just some of the things you're doing there, because I think it's groundbreaking. I'm just so excited by it. When Phil was telling me, I'm like, what? This is for high school students and this is for young adults? And then I seen some of the decks. And I think I'm going to be heading out there actually in August, but I'd seen some of the things that were going on, and I just got tickled by this, because I'm like, man, these kids are sharp. This is our next Elon Musk, our next, who knows, that are coming through the halls of Grant Cardone Foundation. So maybe let's tell the viewers a little bit about that, please.
So we are lucky enough to work with a lot of the school systems as well. And when they implement the training, and so for the listeners that don't know what it is, Grant has a whole Cardone University, which is just hundreds and if not thousands upon thousands of short little videos, 2 to 3 minutes from every aspect of sales, meet and greet, any objective, how to handle, I need to talk to my wife, closing, how to follow up, how to stay motivated. So these are all little short videos that Grant has put out over the years. Now, we put out a 10X Kids book that kind of simplifies that collection of data that he has done. And then we've also have our online program where we have hired kids that have listened to little segment that Grant's put out there. And so they've interpreted that and put it into their own words. So it's literally an online program that's Grant's material, but it's for kids by kids, which makes it even more impactful. The kids go with the school systems or with the nonprofits, and they go through the program and they get certification. Now they know how to have a meet and greet, how to follow up. They passed all these tests to get this certain certification. So when the school system goes through the Grant Cardone program, then the kids, we fly them in from all over America at this point. And
real quick,
times,
Elena, before we get into the fly-in part, I want to stick on that first part, the age group that they're going in. Like, what age is this again? Just roughly.
So, we have the 10X kids roughly from around age 8 to 18, 21.
So what you just described to me is so insane, because most people don't go through things like that for life skills or otherwise, whether it's entrepreneurship or otherwise, till their 20s. Like, I don't remember seeing or being part of anything like that until at least my 20s, and I was working at a huge company. So you're over here like describing my 20s for some like high schoolers, and I'm so thrilled by it.
Oh, and
I don't want to glance over that. That's amazing.
It is amazing, because when I was in school, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I was bored by science or math, even because I never understood math.
I was bored too.
I was bored too. Why am I learning this stuff? But now kids today with the social media, they see, I want the shoes, or I wanted this, or I want to work, and so that when a child has a purpose and a reason for learning, it captures their interest. And so when they think, wow, I can make $100, $1,000, I can help take care of myself, my family, these kids light up, because not only that, now you're giving them a sense of competency and confidence in themselves, and they really kind of blossom out of this shell, or this, many times, the fate of what their life, where they've come from. They feel like, wow, I have an opportunity now, whereas before they feel maybe not so much, like, well, okay, life's dealt me a hard hand here. So this program has been really phenomenal, and the kids, most of them have never been on a plane or stayed at a hotel, and they come in for this great big pitch off. The ones that finally make it down, it's usually to the final 10, and so they've come up with a concept, they have their slide deck of a business that they would want to give it a go at. Sometimes they've already started it. Sometimes it's just concept, but they work out the marketing, what's their strategic plan, how they've researched what it would take. So then they come in and they have about 3 minutes to go through their whole slide deck and present the opportunity. And then, of course, we judge them. We have a panel of judges, and we look at how their presentation, but then also the concept and how much do we like this, and we award a first, second, third, sometimes a fourth or a runner-up, because sometimes it's just too hard to pick from. But so then they'll get the first 5, 10,000, 6,000, 3,000, whatever the amount is that we give to their cause, so that they can develop it a little bit further. We check back in. So it's like a really, really fun day that we have at the office when these kids come in, because they give me ideas and inspiration. Yeah. It's just phenomenal, because it really ignites my imagination and creativity. And so they'll say an idea, and then I'm like, oh, maybe you should do this or that. But they are getting, and they're like, yeah, look into that. But they're very receptive, and they're amazing. I'm telling you, it's really one of the highlights of everything that we do is seeing these kids.
When I heard about it originally, and I was thinking about like that age group, and I was like, man, you I don't know if you remember, like they used to do the like, where do you want to go? I want to go to Disneyland. Forget that. I want to go to 10X HQ and pitch. Come on. That's what I'm talking about for these kids. Yeah. I'm like, it's amazing, especially if you're business oriented, especially if you're like, if that's your thing and you don't see the rest of the world, but you see business. Like, I'm like, that's the lifeblood. It's amazing.
Oh, Totally. And that's what makes it so exciting and so relatable is these kids a lot of time have the realization that they don't have the stature, whatever, a ball player, a celebrity actor, a rapper, whatever they're looking at as their role models. Some of them have the realization, well, I can't be that. But everyone, no matter what you look like, no matter your race, anyone can get this entrepreneurial life set skills and apply them and actually change the trajectory of their lives. Like that's for anyone can be an entrepreneur, anyone.
Yeah, I'm over here cringing a little bit, Elena. Like, wow, you just described my childhood. When I looked at my dad, and he's from Puerto Rico, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be over 5'9", give up the basketball journey. I need to focus on business. You didn't know that, but you just described my childhood. Thank you.
I know. Well,
a little bit.
The same way.
Crystal ball over there.
Yes, it's a very small amount of people that are going to make it. And I don't want to crush anyone's dreams, but I'm a woman. The chances of me being an NFL star are like zero. That's not going to happen.
I know that there was and I don't know for certain if you were on that last panel. So if you were not as a judge, because I know there's multiple that are happening this year, but I know one I believe Phil just mentioned to me that one like passed recently. Any of the presentations or the pitches that just stuck out, just to give the audience a little bit of a flavor of like what is the end result of this? Like anyone that you care to speak on?
Yeah, well, the winner, she was a swimmer. She gave a great presentation with a lot of knowledge, a lot of confidence. And so what she wanted to develop was one of these caps, a swim cap that, and I know they have swim caps out there, but she wanted to develop a swim cap that actually protects your hair, but also it has a built in between the layers, one of these dye capsules that's actually set up to monitor heart rates. And so if your body goes into a panic or it starts to drown or panic, that ink automatically explodes in the water. And she goes, if you've ever seen it, it's pretty quick before it makes a big old mark, so that people around can know somebody's in trouble, or the lifeguards or whatever, if you're in a big sort of a beach. And so obviously that concept has to get developed. So I said to her, okay, why don't you, or have you thought about this? Just because I love the idea so much, and I didn't do the research. Is this already out on the market? I don't know. But I said, why don't you do like a little latex bracelet, like a band that has the capsule in it? Because that's easy. You're not doing the swim cap. Then the swim cap's usually just for women. It cuts down your niche of the audience. But what parent at a water park or even at a kid's party wouldn't make their kid wear that band? So then you could sell them or rent them at all the parks, and the capsule's easy to replace, or you just throw it away and get a new one. So she ended up winning because she just did a phenomenal presentation, and it was great. Another gal, I think she came in third. She had these little charm bracelet ideas, but everyone was on this app where they could share in this community and have their little charm bracelets with their own little charms, and to help them through the adversity of what they're going through. Each one meant something different. So,
and these are ideas that came from what I love about this may sound obvious to anybody listening, but to me it's not. It's like these are ideas that came from these young entrepreneurs. Like that's amazing. Like this is the next generation that's going to be creating the next things that are in the market. Like people don't, I think I marvel at it sometimes. Like those ideas came from somewhere, and look at that. That's amazing.
Right.
That her idea can save lives. Like her idea can literally save lives. That's crazy to me.
Right? That's what I think too. And another gal came up with an app where it would tell you of all the different cultures how to make certain dishes. So you could have all the recipes, and she wanted it to be like a social chat for everyone to participate in this cultural food experience. And I said, hey, why don't you think about, to help you with that, do like where you could do some sort of subscription, but everyone does like a random dish a day or a dish a week, and everyone's making the blah, blah, blah. The Japanese blah, 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 or the Ecuadorian blah, blah, blah. And then they chat about it and post the pictures of how it came out and this and that. And so I thought that was really cool that you could go to one place to have all these recipes of because she wanted to bring like a multicultural environment together where we could come together through food and cultural diversities to understand each other and have more like a reality and affinity for each other. So, I mean, I was blown away. I mean, absolutely blown away.
This is great. Well, I know I've been talking to Phil, and I told him, I was like, and when we were talking about like that mission matters, we absolutely want to support and continue to get the word out about the great work being done by the foundation. And for my own personal reasons as well, like I've been given so much and through my mentors along the way. So if I can get this word out more to more people to be able to get more involved, like I'll be doing my part, I feel, and that's what I like to do. But I was talking to Phil, and I'm like, yeah, like I think we're going to have some of the kids, or I should say the young adults, on the show, because I want to hear their pitches. And Phil's like, you want to have them too? I was like, yeah, I don't just want to have the celebrities and the judges and this, that. Great. That's fun. But my heart's with the kids. Like, I want to hear the kids. I want to hear their story. And I want to hopefully, as their idea gets out there further, then hopefully we get some other people that reach out, that want to support and that want to continue to either back or otherwise support what the young adults are doing in their ideas and support the next generation of entrepreneurs. So I'm just so thrilled by this. I'm going to follow back up with Phil. I'm going to be like, Phil, Elena sold me. I want who had the swim cap now to be, I think it's now the band that's going to have the capsule in it.
The wristband, like, let's go. I'm ready.
Get him on the show, Phil. Phil's going to be like, oh man, he just got real busy.
I know. I'm like, wait, I'm ready to become a 50-50 partner here. Let's go. We got this.
Oh, well, Elena, first off, I just want to thank you for taking some time out today. Well, first off, thank you for all. I know you're co-founder with your husband, obviously, and you both put a tremendous amount of effort and work and also resources into the Grant Cardone Foundation. So thank you for that, and all the children that you're helping, young adults that you're helping. And thank you for making some time for us today. That being said, if somebody wants to follow up, learn more about the foundation in general, GrantCardoneFoundation.com, is that the best way?
Yeah, the GrantCardoneFoundation.com. And then I have a donation link, which is ElenaCardone.com/100. I was on a mission to get our first 100 people to commit to $100 a month. So if anyone wants to go wild, I would just love that. But of course, any donation we don't reject or are not appreciative of. We're appreciative of every single amount towards helping children. So thank you for having me today. This has been so much fun.
Absolutely. I've enjoyed it as well. So thank you. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time with us and you haven't done it yet, this is a daily show. Each and every day, we're bringing you new entrepreneurs, new thought leaders, and new ideas that will hopefully help you along in your journey and inspire you to do great things as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button, because guess what? Tomorrow you can get a notification. There's another episode coming out, and Elena, really appreciate it. I can't wait to go out to 10X HQ. I'm gonna head out there too, and I'm gonna make a visit. So thank you again for coming on.
For sure. Thanks.